What's up, guys? So today what I'm going to do, I was going to do a bottom 5 brands video, and I had a hard time finding 5 brands that I just completely don't like the brands at all. So I decided today we would try something different. I'm going to go back, we're going to look at 5 products that I've used in videos before that I do not recommend you use now. So this is really more of a product update. So let's get into it. Okay, so number 5, and the first thing, and this is probably going to be a little controversial, but one product I have not been happy with, but I don't completely hate, which is why it's number 5, is BC Racing coilovers. Let me explain why. The build quality is fine, the fit is fine, they fit on the car. As you guys may know, I have those on my 99 GTP, and they're okay. They're good for if you want the car to be pretty low but not run out of suspension travel. But what hurts BC Racing coilovers as an actual like race or performance part is the fact that the dampening is not very good. And what I mean by the dampening is not very good, the dampening is adjustable, but it's one-way adjustable, which means you have one knob that adjusts bound and rebound dampening at the same time. And what it feels like is going on is there's way too much bound dampening and way too little rebound dampening. So when you've got it turned down enough that it's tolerable, you get this horrible jounce whenever there's a bump, where the suspension lengthens back out way too fast because it doesn't have enough rebound dampening. But when you turn it up high enough to stop that, you have so much bound dampening that it's pretty much the same thing as having solid suspension. The suspension can't give at all. It doesn't absorb any bumps at all. Now, I've had coilovers like this before. I had Powered by Max coilovers on my 240SX several years ago, and they felt exactly the same. And I have run them in a race. I ran them in an autocross, and it was absolutely terrible. Every little bump in a turn would unsettle the car and make the rear end skip across the road. I replaced those with a more expensive set of Stance GR Plus Pros, which were about $2,000, and it was night and day, a million times better. So I am still kind of on the hunt for a better suspension option for the 99, but they're not terrible, and especially for a car that you're just driving around or you're taking to car shows, they're fine. The adjustability is good. So that's why I don't like hate them, which is why they're a number 5. Number 4, we're back on the 99 GTP again, and that's the Spec D tuning headlights. I have come to not like them for 2 reasons. They do look good and they fit fine, which is fine, but the light pattern is not good. The light output's not very good, and they're not adjustable. They have 2 screws on the back that you would think should be an adjustment, but when you turn them, nothing happens. So I will be looking into a better set of projector headlights for that car at some point, but just as an update, I'm not happy with them. Number 3, Zentek fog lights. I reviewed these in an earlier video, and they did look good, and the light output was good, and they fit okay, but I have to report at this point that they only lasted about 3 or 4 weeks or so, and one burnt out. I bought another set thinking maybe I just got a defective one. They lasted about a month, and I had another one burn out. So I definitely do not recommend those anymore. If you're going to get those, the last fog lights that I used on the Buick are much better. Those are the ones to get. Number 2 is not a surprise, and that is Hot System Boost Gauge, or any gauge. Any Chinese gauge really is about the same. But in a video previously, I did install a cheap electric boost gauge that I got on Amazon, I think. And I'll link that video down below so you can see what I'm talking about. But that boost gauge, as most of you will probably know if you followed that series, was inaccurate right from day one. It never worked correctly. It hooked up correctly, it came on, but it read the wrong boost level. So I thought I had a problem I didn't even have. I switched to an Autometer boost gauge and all the numbers were fine. So it was just that gauge. So I do not recommend those. And number 1, Detroit Axle. This is one I know people have asked me about before. I've installed struts by Detroit Axle, I've installed axles by Detroit Axle, and I've installed wheel bearings by Detroit Axle. One of the biggest things though that was a problem for me is I had a set of wheel bearings from them that didn't even make it 3 months and had play in them again. That's way too fast for being mechanically worn out. The struts were okay. I didn't get to use them long enough to really tell how they lasted long term, but they seemed like they were an okay factory piece. But due to the wheel bearings wearing out so quickly, I do not trust, nor do I recommend Detroit Axle anymore. So that's 5 parts that I've used that I don't recommend anymore. If you've got a brand or a part you've used that didn't go well, drop it down in the comments so other people can see and we can get a list of things to avoid, because parts are expensive and we don't want to be wasting a bunch of money on stuff that's not going to last. But that was it for this video. Like this video if it was helpful at all. Drop me a comment, let me know what you think, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We are really close to 10,000 subscribers, at which point I will be making a special video for that. But I will see you guys in future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.